Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse and I am back for another channel update, random topic video. I know we just did our year in wrap up for 2024 video, but we're barely a week in, not even really a week in, and it's been a crazy start to 2025. There's a few things that I want to quick chat about and let you guys know about, and so we will do that. As I usually start these videos, I first want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, whether you've been here 10 minutes or 10 years. Been doing this illegally cited thing for quite a while now, and it's, thank you for supporting the channel. It's very much appreciated. I do unlock videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, sometimes more often, maybe for holidays or big gaming news or accessibility news, conferences, end of year, or, maybe sometimes because why not? Everything is divided into playlists as well. So definitely check that out. Hopefully you'll find a playlist of interest for you. I have low vision spotlight game videos. Those are games I play with my remaining vision as I'm a legally blind user. I have accessible game spotlight videos, which are games that are accessible to totally blind players. VR content, I've got some VR playlists. I've got iOS and PC. I have iOS apps, iOS games, presentations and interviews. I've got my Growing Up Illegally Cited playlist, which I'm pretty proud of. That's a good place to look if you have any further, any questions. How did I get into assistive technology? How did I get into consulting or YouTube stuff? I've got employment, education stuff in the Growing Up Illegally Cited. It's just, so a lot of stuff there, a few Let's Plays and other geeky stuff. Just check out the playlists. As far as other content, recent content, like I said, we just did let me close my NVDA real quick here. As far as my recent videos, we've got our end of year content. I covered all kinds of different topics like mainstream games, accessible games, AI and apps, retro first person shooters, because there was a bunch of bangers that came out last year for those. We've got this early this year, we just did a video for Bloodshed, this really cool run-based kind of retro FPS that's been really, really fun in early access. Looking forward to more content for that. We got an accessible game here I just released the other day, accessible game video. And there's going to be plenty more to come. I've got some additional accessible games, some low vision games, some apps, got a few more AI videos coming. I did do the video, that Christmas video, where I took a look at the recently released Ally for iOS and Android. And that was kind of more of just kind of a goofy video, something fun for Christmas. I will do a more serious kind of overview video of Ally because I think it also has a lot of really helpful, a lot of useful purposes in the way they tie the different AI personalities into it and that stuff. So expect a video for that in the near future. There's a cool shopping website called InnoSearch AI that we're going to take a look at in the near future. And who knows what else. I got some low vision games, some accessible games, some assistive tech stuff. Who knows? Before we go in any further with the recent events and such, I just want to kind of give a shout out to Mr. Alan D1, Predoa, and the rest of the Toby Doom team. If you were on the holiday, you took a vacation and missed it, Toby Doom 8.0 is out now, which also now contains Doom, Doom 2, Heretic, and now Hexen content. And Hexen is a little bit of a different beast. You get some cool stuff there. You get multiple playable character classes. And there's some new accessibility features in 8.0 that I think a lot of people are really, really going to like. For example, before in 7.5, you could navigate to previously discovered areas like the red key door or a skull door or the beginning of a level. Now you have an exploration option under the pathfinding menu where you can kind of get a breadcrumb trail to follow for undiscovered areas of the map. So check out the video I did for that. It came out right around Christmas as well. And then go check out the mod, because it's, like I said, every time it just gets so much better. And I would say it's very, very playable. And I think it should get rid of, with these new pathfinding features, I think it should make things a lot more playable for people who were having a little bit of trouble with the whole level navigation aspect of the game. So huge shout out, huge thank you to the dev team for Toby Doom, because you guys are doing awesome work. Love it. Love that my favorite game of all time is being made accessible to blind players after all these years. Also just want to kind of give a shout out, kind of a really wish people well. Everyone's going through, you got one part of the country that's going through horrible winter storms. You got part of California that's just on fire. I've been seeing some videos on social media this morning, these video clips of like literally walls of fire around people's houses, the destruction that is happening over by LA. I can't even imagine. So I just hope everyone gets through that okay. And just kind of a good luck to everybody, because it sounds like 2025 is going to start out to be kind of a ridiculous, insane year, because we have, you know, literally the first day of the year we had the Cybertruck blow up. We had somebody thought it would be a good idea to play real life Carmageddon and run down people senselessly in New Orleans. Just, I can't even believe it. Like, I don't know what the hell goes through people's heads these days. But yeah. So just hoping everyone gets through all that well. And then we have our future leader going completely nuts on social media and his press conferences, and talking about taking over Canada and Greenland and renaming the Gulf of Mexico and God knows what other ramblings I've seen. I just saw the rough headlines and didn't really read in-depth articles about it. But I know people said Biden was senile, but good God, man, this guy's off his rocker and then some. So if you are outside of the U.S., if you're a Canadian, or if you're, from wherever, no, we're not all like that. No, we're not. No, I like Canada. I've been to Canada before. The guy's just out of his mind, and it's, I guess, unfortunately what a lot of people voted for. So we're just going to have to deal with complete lunacy again for the next few years. And that's all I'm going to say about politics, because this isn't a political channel. But I know a lot, I'm a little bit surprised or befuddled, shall we say, about all the weirdness that's going on. So yeah, there's all that stuff. But on to more happier news, or better stuff. This week we've got a couple of events happening. We have Awesome Games Done Quick. I've talked about them before on the channel. They do 2 sessions every year. They got Awesome Games Done Quick in January, Summer Games Done Quick in the summer, naturally. I think it's usually right around the 4th of July. And yeah, they are doing their week-long speedrunning event right now, and they're raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So if you want to watch some awesome speed runs and donate to a worthwhile charity, help people out, good way to do it. I've lost a lot of people I've known to cancer, relatives, friends. I literally just had a former coworker and friend die of cancer within the last month. Um, no, man, screw cancer. It's just, I don't wish that on anyone. I mean, even the cure of it, like the current like chemo and everything that people have to go through, it almost sounds worse than, ugh, it's just, everything about cancer is just horrible. And I really, really hope that we can find a less horrible way to cure it and a more consistent way to cure all different types of cancers because it's too much. But yeah, Games Done Quick is this week. They've already had some great speed runs. They're archiving them to their YouTube channel very quickly. Last night I just watched the first time of they had Shenmue on the they had a Shenmue speed run, which was kind of interesting. I did a playthrough of that on the channel a couple of years ago. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of cool speed runs you can check out there. This year we also have the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, and I like to follow that to some degree because they have some really cool announcements usually. um, New different tech. You have some traditional tech out there, and then you got the really off the wall stuff out there that may or may not ever see uh, retail, that may not ever get sold. But it's just interesting to see what these companies come up with. So Nvidia and AMD came out with their new graphics cards. I didn't follow the AMD stuff too much, but the Nvidia stuff looks okay, if not a bit on the expensive side. They're releasing their 50 series cards. I have the 4070 Ti in my current rig right now, but they in late January and sometime in February they are releasing their 5090, 5080, 5070, etc. cards. And the 70 and the 80s are not terrible. They're between 500 and $1,000. The 580 is or the 5080 is right around $1,000. Ooh, the 5090 though, holy Lord. It's definitely going to be overkill, I think, for most people, so you don't even really need it. But if you're looking at a 5090, you're going to be looking at about $2,000 minimum. So yeah, that card is stupid expensive. I'm not in the market for a graphics card right now, so I haven't done a lot of research. But if people are wanting to, make sure to get that rig so they can play their Mortal Kombat 1 and The Last of Us 1 and 2. The Last of Us 2 is coming out here in April, so we're going to have that coming out. And even though if you can't see the screen, you still have to be able to run the game, and to be able to run it smoothly, remember that you do need a decent graphics card. So you can't just get the bargain basement, $400 PC and expect it to run. So, you could easily get by with a 30 or a 40 series card, and not have to pay for the new 50 series, the 5000 series, whatever you call them. But yeah, we got new graphics cards, and then the other big gaming thing is we're still continuing to have a lot of different experimentation with the handheld PC type market. There's a few more. Was it LG, or I forget who it was. There was somebody that was making an 11-inch handheld PC, which as a low vision user, I very much appreciate for the screen size, but I gotta wonder how heavy that sucker is gonna be, because this isn't just like an 11-inch iPad. You're throwing a giant screen in here, and you're putting all this GPU and other innards into it that kind of make it more like, again, it's a handheld gaming PC, with your controller style interface. There's a 7-inch one that's going to be coming out here pretty soon. So there's too many to mention specifically, but that's going to be another thing that's going to continue in the next few years. It's just going to get more and more companies experimenting with that. And speaking of which, it sounds like Valve is also going to be sometime, I want to say I heard in April or sometime this spring, bringing their Steam OS to other devices so people can get other computers or other handhelds and put Steam OS on it so it's not just the Steam Deck, which would be fine. I'm okay with, but I'm so frustrated and I'm so annoyed. Steam has been out for over 20 years now, and I've contacted them, many other people have contacted them, and they just don't seem to get it or just don't seem to care. I really wish that Steam OS, I really wish that their Steam desktop client was a little better. I love the platform overall as a whole, like all of its features and functionality is great. But I really wish that, Steam OS, I wish it had a screen narration, screen reader feature. I wish it had magnification. The dark mode that it uses is nice, but having some additional accessibility features like menu narration, screen reader, magnification would be very, very much welcome. And we'll see if Nintendo adds any this type of accessibility to their new Switch, which has to be announced here pretty soon. Speaking of handheld devices, there's a lot more rumors coming out. There's a lot more like leaks of, oh, this is maybe here's a picture, here's some pictures of the new Joy-Cons. Here's the picture of the back of, or here's a picture of part of the new dock or the Switch itself. You got these third-party accessory makers that are making cases and different accessories that are seeming to be leaked. But I really haven't been paying much attention to that because, again, people just do it because they want the clicks. Oh, if I put this Switch rumor out and I put this other rumor out, just like all the Apple stuff, in iOS 24, this is going to happen. Well, yeah, whoop-de-doo. I'll believe it when I see it until it's official. So there's a lot of stuff happening. We're presumably going to be getting a new Switch this year. I don't think we're going to get a new Steam Deck. Valve is kind of saying that, no, we want to wait for a more like a big jump in hardware, something that's going to make a upgrade truly worth it, not just a small incremental upgrade, which I'm totally okay with. But then the other thing, Microsoft has kind of been starting to talk about their handheld. They've been thinking about a Xbox handheld to some degree. And if they don't want to be left behind, especially if Valve opens up their Steam OS to other hardware, Microsoft is going to have to get their keister in gear really right quick because, right now Windows is the primary platform for PC gaming. But not just with handheld computers, but if you can put Steam OS on a regular laptop or desktop computer, who knows what that'll do. If somebody just uses their computer for gaming, to me, you think you'd still want to have some, basic productivity things like a web browser, email, word processor, or a text editor, that kind of a thing. But if you're doing something as a primary, gaming device, who knows what Valve will put into future Steam OS updates. And again, the other reason that I really am curious about the Microsoft handhelds is because, well, their Xbox consoles have had accessibility features for a couple generations now. We have screen readers, we have magnification, the Series X and S has pretty good accessibility. And so, hey, if I can get a Xbox related, and the other thing is Microsoft is really going more open. We got Game Pass, we got cross play. They're bringing more of their Xbox titles to other platforms like the PS5, and they've been bringing stuff to PC as well for a long time. So the thing is, it's like, well, they have this open thing. There's been rumors about, oh, well, maybe we'll allow Steam in the Epic Store on a future Xbox, whether it's a console or handheld. If I could have, hey, if that's what it takes, if Valve is too stupid to do it, um, if I can get an Xbox handheld, or if I can get some sort of other gaming device that will also allow me to import my literally thousands of games in my Steam library and actually have an accessible interface, well, then yeah, sign me up. Sign me up, because Valve, like I said, surely doesn't seem to want to care. So if Microsoft can kind of pick up the slack, um, and do that. So again, everything is really up in the air. I have my Steam Deck OLED. I love it. I got my original Steam Deck. I sold that to a friend of mine for cheap. So he's got one now. And they're great little devices. I just really, really pains me that they don't have these accessibility features. And I really, really genuinely hope that Nintendo follows suit. And I really hope that, we got Sony, we got Xbox, we got PlayStation and Xbox. They have a pretty good core of accessibility features built in. Yes, the Switch has the zoom feature, which I very much appreciate, but God, a screen reader would be so nice. So we'll just have to wait and see. And I really wish, like, I understand they didn't want to say it before the holidays because they wanted to have one more Christmas, one more holiday season where they could get people to buy the original Switch. Okay, fair enough, fine. You got a new Zelda game, you've got another Paper Mario game, you've got a few different things there. So I get that, but like, okay, we're going now. I'm so tired of all the rumors and supposed leaks and speculation. Just really, even if it doesn't release until between March or like April and June this year, just January is a good time. I think that's when they really did they did a teaser, I think like late 2016, and then it came out, and they did the January video 20 or like January 2017, when the year that it came out. I really hope that I just want them to announce it so that it's official. We know if it's backwards compatible. We know what the specs are going to be. We know a few things about a few launch games. I'm so tired of the endless like speculation and rumors and all the nonsense that just people constantly are, kind of clickbaity stuff that I'm just so tired of. We want to know, and we also really, really want to know, is it going to be finally an accessible Nintendo platform? That would be a wonderful thing to know. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Nintendo does. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know a lot else that's coming as far as what's been announced at I keep wanting to say CSUN, um, at the Consumer Electronics Show, but I know that AI is really prevalent there, as would be expected, because they're basically trying to shove AI into everything these days, whether it needs it or not. And some use cases are great, and some use cases are like, was that really necessary? So yeah, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. There's always new TVs, new monitors. I'm kind of there's OLED, and then there's this new, I forget what it's called. It's like a new form. Was it QLCD or QLED or some frickin' thing where um I think it's the new technology that's going to be replacing or going alongside OLED. And I love the crispness, the contrast, the sharpness of an OLED screen. And I'm also frustrated with the like USB-C, and you've got, well, this protocol supports this, but this type of connection and this cord doesn't support this, but it supports this, and yada yada. And even with HDMI, there's weird things with like some support HDR lighting and some support this and only this refresh rate and that. I thought HDMI and USB-C was supposed to simplify things, but it's almost made it more of a pain in the ass. Yeah, the connectors are nice, especially USB-C because you can put it in any way you want, but it's just all the protocols that come with it. It's just become so messy. And I don't know if it's going to improve with this new like LED or LCD technology. And I'm curious what size screens we're going to get because, with the blind and low vision or like low vision users, people generally tend to think that, oh, the bigger the monitor, the better. And I thought that for a while too, but I really came to the realization many years ago that depending on your vision, if you get too big, it almost becomes less productive because now you gotta, every time you want to look at something in whatever corner of your screen, you have to like either like turn your head or you have to lean, or even like, you got a ginormous enough TV. You almost have to get up and like stand up and look in this corner, or crouch down and look in that corner. It's too much. And so I found for me, I would say around like a 24-inch monitor is about perfect. You do a little bit of, it's a little bit to go to the corners, but everything is right in front of you, and it's still big enough to where it's comfortable. And the monitors that I've really seen, I think the smallest I've seen an OLED monitor is like 27-inch, which might be okay, but that's really on the outside of as far as like that's as big as I would really want to go. You get much bigger than that, and then you start getting that problem where you're leaning over, or it's too hard to keep track of everything in the corners, and especially in games, they love to put your health bar or your other status things. They love to put certain bits of information in certain bits of HUD in those corners, and if you're having to kind of bebop all around and try to see that stuff, it's not really good. So I would love something in the equivalency of like an OLED monitor that's nice and light, that is, that I can hook up via HDMI or DisplayPort, that's got a good refresh rate, and I just like the crispness of OLED or similar technology, and I want it to work, and I would love something in the realm of like a 24-inch. The current monitor I have, it's fine. It works great. Um, but unfortunately, it's got a bunch of old connectors, so I'm using like a DVI to DisplayPort adapter right now because that's all I can do. The new NVIDIA cards they don't have DVI ports anymore. It's all DisplayPort and HDMI. So weirdly, my monitor has, I think does it have a VGA port? I don't even remember. It's got DVI, but it doesn't have HDMI, which is really freaking strange. I don't know why, like you get modern hardware, whether it's like a monitor or a laptop, and they just don't like putting ports in them anymore. Before you'd get like, oh, we got monitors with USBs in them, you got DisplayPort, you got VGA, DVI, any number of different things. You got all kinds of connectors. Now it's like, nope, you barely get anything. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Consumer Electronics Show, there's probably going to be some interesting stuff coming out of there, but it looks like we're getting a lot of handheld PCs, a lot of AI being shoved into everything. What else? There was something else I mentioned earlier, but yeah, nothing too earth-shattering. Oh yeah, the new graphics cards. Um, I am very intrigued about a couple of upcoming conferences. We have the ATIA conference. I forget the exact dates, but it's in Florida in late January. We do have a coworker that is going down to that conference. And then we also have another coworker going down to the CSUN conference, which I don't remember if it's in March or April this year. But this year could be sort of interesting. We're getting a lot of developments with our AI. We've got Ally, we've got Be My Eyes, we've got Ira, we've got all these different things that are implementing AI in similar but sort of different ways. We have multi-line braille displays. We have these new mobility devices like Glidance. We have, who knows, and then your traditional assistive technology updates, your screen readers, your magnifiers, that kind of a thing, CCTVs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, around CSUN time and then around your summer blindness conferences time. So yeah, it's kind of funny because 2-3 years ago I'm like, well, I don't really know what is really going to be the new thing for assistive tech. We've got smartphones and all these apps and we're pretty set. And then this whole AI thing, again, your mainstream AI, people are not a big fan of that in a lot of cases. But as far as blindness, low vision, things like, again, Be My AI has opened up so many doors and possibilities. I'm really waiting for the real-time screen monitoring so I can just have it running in the background and just being able to ask it questions about a game I'm playing. It's got to be coming pretty soon, and I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with that. We got wearables coming. We got updates to the Ray-Ban glasses. If you join the early access program, they have a live conversation bit that works fairly well. Like, its responsiveness is pretty good. But I will say, I think I covered this in one of the year-end wrap-up videos, but like when you compare it to Google Gemini or ChatGPT, it just seems like Meta's AI, there's still a bit more hallucination. It still gives a bit more like false results. You ask it a question, it's like, oh, what am I holding? And it's like, oh, you're holding this. It's like, no, that's not at all what this is. It seems to get things wrong a little bit more than the other AI models. So again, I hope they really, they're still using, I don't even remember what Llama is up to. Was it 3.1? But when they switch over to 3.2 or something, it's supposed to be better. So again, I mean, regardless of what tool you're using, what version of AI you're using, I mean, this is probably the dumbest they're going to be. They're just going to get continuously better over time. So between AI and wearables and live conversation and live monitoring, I think there's going to open up a lot of different interesting possibilities for independence, for productivity, for entertainment, just being able to do things more independently if you are blind and low vision. So that, I think, wraps up kind of the quick early January update. I mean, I know I was going to wait for later in the month, but I figured we had these two. We had Awesome Games Done Quick. We had CES this week. We had all the crazy nonsense of the world in the first 7 days of the year so far, 8 days of the year. Good grief. But yeah, stay tuned to the channel because things are not going to be slowing down. We got more games, more assistive tech, more apps, maybe some new toys. Who the heck knows? But with that, we will wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, Blue Sky at Illegally Cited, Twitch.tv/illegally cited illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. And until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.